Today I wanted to share my story, what I've been feeling lately about my veganism and my spirituality intersecting. So over the past couple days, last weekend, it's Monday now, so Saturday and Sunday, I've been really involving myself with the London Buddhist Centre and also with animal rights activism. This immersion has evoked deep thought and emotion within me about my spirituality and my veganism. I feel really enlightened and I've begun to see them as one path, interconnected. So my vegan journey actually began long before my spiritual journey. I have always been a spiritual person in many ways, but I only began to really deeply explore that over the past few years, whereas I went vegan almost 9 years ago at 13 years old. And prior to becoming vegan, I'd been vegetarian since the age of 5. And this is because the thought of harming adorable, beautiful, living creatures just has never sat right with me. So at 5 years old, as soon as I found out that meat came from animals that had to be killed, I cut that out. But unfortunately, like most people, I wasn't aware of how cruel and inhumane the dairy industry can be. So I thought being vegetarian was enough. But then at 13, I found out the truth about the dairy industry and I made the choice to become vegan. If you don't know what I mean when I refer to the dairy industry's cruelty, there are many sources. You can read articles, watch videos. I'll leave a few links in the description if you want to educate yourself. But yeah, so for me, veganism has always been very animal focused. As I grew older, I learned about the positive environmental impact and the health benefits as well, which are both hugely important to me. Like, I really care about nutrition and I did a degree in the environment, so both of these things are really important to me as well. But the main focus has always been compassion and non-harm. Over the past few years, I've become more in touch with my spirituality. I've explored it a lot more, lots of different pathways, lots of different aspects of myself. Last year, I completed my 200-hour yoga teacher training course. Alongside the physical practice, I also studied philosophy from Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism. One principle that really stood out to me was ahimsa, which means non-violence. It resonated so deeply with me and still does because it puts a name to something, to the values that I've always lived by when it comes to animals. So since then, I've delved further into Buddhism, reading, learning, practicing, feeling this sense of connection and belonging. Yoga and Buddhism have truly transformed the way that I live my life. I now put so much conscious energy and effort into taking care of my body, moving mindfully, eating mindfully, living slowly and with intention, taking time, not rushing, just being, breathing, flowing, feeling. And then last weekend, everything just clicked into place. I went to an animal rights march and it felt so empowering and uplifting to be surrounded by so many other individuals. It was really powerful to have my voice, everyone's voices amplified together, campaigning for the same thing that we all feel so passionate about. Many people were holding signs with things written on them, and there were two in particular that really stood out to me. The first one said, "My body is a garden, not a graveyard." And the second one said, "My body is a temple, not a tomb." These words hit me with such clarity, and suddenly I felt like I could see my spirituality and my veganism just align into one path. And they were no longer two separate parts of my identity, they had kind of fused into one part of me. We've all heard the saying, "You are what you eat." And in that moment, I just really deeped that. We are what we eat. So why would I want to put the dead flesh of an animal that died in pain into my body? It's just bad vibes. To me, it doesn't make sense to put the suffering of another animal into my body, to consume that suffering. In biology, we learn that energy is transferred from organism to organism through the food chain. Food is energy. And if that energy carries pain, violence, fear, I don't want to consume that negativity. For me, that feels really spiritually heavy, and I value my body so much, so I want to nourish it with life. Beautiful, colourful, vibrant plant sources that carry lightness and life force, not the negative energy from an animal that died in pain Honouring my body as a temple, as a garden, means treating it with compassion and caring for it and living in alignment with ahimsa. So when I eat this way, when I eat vegan, I feel physically healthier, lighter, and mentally so much more at peace and happier, knowing that I'm not contributing to any suffering. And this realization hit me so deeply. So the very next day, Sunday, yesterday, I decided to attend my first session at the London Buddhist Centre. I can't fully explain it. I can't quite put into words. It felt like coming home. I feel like I've finally found the place where I belong. I'm so eager to learn more, to become more enlightened, to connect with other people and myself even deeper. And yeah, that's the journey I'm on now, just evolving spiritually and continuing to live compassionately through being vegan. So yeah, that's just my little experience that I wanted to share about how veganism and spirituality intersect for me. One way of living with presence, kindness, compassion, and connection as well, because I feel like people become so disconnected from the food that they eat. People will shovel meat into their mouths without a thought about where that's come from. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't go slaughter an animal themselves, so to eat it is kind of like disconnected from the source of that food. Whereas I feel like eating vegan is very mindful and connected way of eating, because I know where my food has come from and I am pleased with where my food has come from. And I feel no sense of guilt. I just feel connected with what I'm eating and connected with my body. Yeah, and I've never thought about this before as well, and I can't believe it's taken me so long to like make that connection between veganism and spirituality, and I just feel so like awakened, enlightened. A lot of people always talk about veganism from an animal rights perspective, an environmental perspective, a health perspective, but I've never really heard it talked about from a spiritual perspective, or not very often anyways. So I thought I would share my perspective. I've said that word so many times. I'm not sure this video will be many people's cup of tea, but it's something that I just feel so passionate about, and it's been non-stop on my mind. Like, I've just been filled with emotion about this over the past few days. So I just really wanted to share this story, and even if just one person watches it and feels something, that's worth it. That's all good with me. So thank you so much for listening. I would really love to talk more about the evolution of my spiritual journey, because it's been a roller coaster, but for now I'll just leave it here. I hope you have a really beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.